Bermuda Triangle disappearances. Ellen Austen. The Ellen Austen disappeared in 1881 during one of its numerous trips between New York and London. The ship ran into another ship that was sailing in the Bermuda Triangle. The Ellen Austen crew boarded the ship to find that there was no crew on board, so they split in half so they could guide the newly found ship back to London. The Ellen Austen and the other ship were separated during a storm in the Triangle, and the Ellen Austen was never seen again. The USS Cyclops. The USS Cyclops was a carrier ship that was active in World War I. There were about 309 people on board, as well as heavy cargo departing from Barbados and en route to Baltimore on March 4, 1918. The ship never made it to Baltimore, and no wreckage was ever found. The disappearance was considered to be one of the largest losses of life that didn't involve combat in U.S. military history. Flight 441. On October 30th, 1954, Flight 441 took off with 42 passengers, including naval officers and their families, on the way to Lagos in the Azores Islands. The plane was about 400 miles off the coast inside the Bermuda Triangle when communication was last exchanged, and no SOS call was put in. Flight 441 never arrived to its destination and literally disappeared without a trace, making it one of the most notable disappearances to date. Flight DC-3. On December 29, 1948, a Douglas DC-3 aircraft with 32 passengers on board disappeared while en route from San Juan, Puerto Rico to Miami, Florida. The plane was initially low on batteries, but the pilot continued to fly anyway. The plane, nor traces of the people or wreckage, were ever found. Star Tiger and Star Ariel. Two planes from British South American Airlines disappeared over the Triangle in the span of under a year. The Star Tiger disappeared on January 30th, 1948, flying from Azores to Bermuda. The second plane, the Star Ariel, disappeared on January 17th, 1949, from Bermuda to Kingston, Jamaica. Both aircrafts were passenger planes and had limited radar technology, making it more difficult for them to reach their destinations. Witchcraft. The Witchcraft was a luxury cabin boat owned by hotel guru Dan Barak. On December 22, 1967, Dan and another man named Father Horgan went out about a mile offshore to see the Christmas lights along the Miami coastline. Barak called the Coast Guard stating that he had hit something and would need to be towed back to shore and would shoot a flare gun to announce his position. However, when the Coast Guard arrived, the boat was nowhere to be found. The search expanded 1,200 miles with no results. Flight 19. On December 5, 1945, 5 TBM average torpedo bomber planes disappeared along with 14 men during a training flight over the Triangle. The crew was known as Flight 19, and the incident is the most famous of all the Bermuda Triangle cases and inspired a scene for the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. No trace of the planes were ever found. Frank and Romina Leone. Newlywed couple Frank and Romina Leone went fishing on their brand new boat on June 18, 2003. But when they didn't show up to their job several days later, friends and family feared the worst. The boat had departed from Boynton Beach Inlet in Florida. The U.S. Coast Guard searched the waters from Miami to Savannah, Georgia, but the boat was never found.
Thanks for watching. Check out our friends over at All Time Conspiracies for shocking facts about the biggest scandals, cover-ups, and conspiracy theories in history. Don't forget to click subscribe to their channel.
In January 2015, YouTube user and ufologist StreetCap1 caused a stir in media headlines.